See, lateral entry as an idea is a good idea. And we've had Dr. Manmohan Singh come into government through lateral entry. So it's not that we oppose the idea of lateral entry. But lateral entry can't be a surreptitious way to pack government with people who are aligned with the governing party's ideology, giving a go-by to the reservation policies we have. I mean, and just because you're going to have reservation policy does not mean that you're not going to bring in better talent into government. I mean, that I think is an erroneous assumption. If somebody is an eminent global expert, yes, but just to bring in mid-level or senior-level managers into government and not to adhere to the social affirmative action programs we have in India, I think is erroneous. I think you can adhere to it and still have the lateral entry. The problem here was nobody was opposing the lateral entry. The problem here was they were opposing the lateral entry without the social affirmative program, without that structure coming in. And the pushback didn't just necessarily come back from only from the opposition, but from key allies of the government itself, including Mr. Paswan's party. I think the TDP and the JDU would have perhaps privately had a word with the government. But the point is, this government is also learning to consult. I mean, if this government has obviously had a free pass for the last 10 years where they ran the government with the diktats of 1.5 people, now they're suddenly realizing the compulsions of cabinet and coalition and things like that, and they're learning that.
As an individual, I don't see everything from the prism of just reservation and social justice. It's a very easy thing to talk about social justice, hashtag social justice. It's very easy. And opposition will use that. And they are using it. I don't know what the reasoning was, why government withdrew it. Has it actually been withdrawn? Is it something that has gone back to the table? There's some more thinking to be done. And I'm not in a position to really comment on that aspect. But this is not a new thing. Lateral entry in our bureaucracy has been happening for the last 4 or 5 decades, perhaps at a smaller scale and at the higher level. You know, you've had Rakesh Mohan, you've had many people, you know, Mr. Kelkar, people with different skill sets. And now we are to look at and reimagine the role of Indian bureaucracy, given a landscape where specialism is also to be rewarded and valued. So I find now more and more there are generalists. There are also demands कि हमारा अलग cadre होना चाहिए. I remember when I was an MP 9 to 14, a lot of agriculturalists, people who work on agriculture policy came to me and said, agriculture का भी सब अलग cadre होना चाहिए. I said क्यों? I said बहुत specialized technical field है. वो Ministry of Finance में अधिकारी आया, उसको आपने सचिव यहाँ agriculture में बना दिया, उसे मालूम नहीं है खेती कैसे होती है, क्या technical scientific aspects हैं, and they are driving policy. So there is a demand for specialist skills. So if there's someone with know-how from private sector, I think government must have access to that as well.